Yeah, you got some big news a couple weeks ago when Donovan Laie announced that he was going to transfer, but then he decided to come back. From your perspective, what was your communication like with Donovan during those 24 hours?
Yeah, no, it was obviously tough news. Donovan and I had talked that morning and kind of explained to me the situation, and then we kept in communication. And at the end of the day, he's one of us. You know, he's a brother to us, and especially guys in the room, and one of our leaders. So it was a big loss, but I think ultimately he saw the love from the rest of the group and the coaching staff, and we want to see him here shining. So it was a tough, really 48 hours, but I think the decision he made was the best thing for him and for us, and we're excited to have him back. And kids, go through a lot in life and on the field, off the field, and I'm just really proud he was able to make that decision to rejoin us, and he's going to help us win a lot of games. He's a hell of a football player.
What was your message to him when you had those conversations? Was it understandable that he was leaving? Was it more trying to convince him to come back?
Yeah, it was. At the end of the day, from my vantage point, it was my ability to get him ready to play at the next level, right? And explaining to him that, I played in the NFL, I've coached in the NFL. Dennis Polian and Coach Someone and Noel's been in the NFL, so that pedigree, we can help groom him for what he wants to do. Obviously, he's had a great career here. Started every game for 2 years, so he's on the right trajectory, and with the right time put in, studying the game, perfecting his technique, he can play at that level. So I'm excited to work with him. I've been excited since I got here last February, and he's a tremendous young man that is not just a good teammate and a good leader, but he helps the young guys. So I'm excited for him, and I'm going to do my part to give him the tools to play at the next level.
Coach, you talked about a little bit about the injuries from last season, but how much did that help you as a position group moving forward, getting prepared for this year? Did it help progress the underclassmen and get them ready for this season?
Yeah, and there's no question. I mean, when you have injuries, it forces people to play, right? And sometimes maybe it forces people to play a little bit earlier than maybe what they're supposed to as far as a developmental standpoint. But and you throw guys to the fire, and you never know what's going to happen. So we played a lot of guys, and so we're returning a lot of veteran guys with not just starts but real game experience. And I think there's nothing more valuable than playing on a Saturday than playing on a Thursday in a scrimmage, right? You play on a Saturday, real referees. I'm not on the field yelling at you. Coach Someone's not out there blowing the whistle. You play those real things, and that's valuable experience, especially for the O-line, because you go out there and stuff happens. Well, you have to learn how to naturally respond, right? You got to learn how to naturally respond to movement. You can't simulate that all the time in individual drills. So really excited with the guys that have come back and guys that have played, and hell, I'm excited about that. That makes me happy.
A few weeks ago, you announced that you were going to enter the transfer portal. What went into that decision, and talk to us about maybe the 48 hours where you decided to come back?
Basically, just to start off, making a decision was making this decision to leave was probably the hardest decision for me to make. But the biggest factor into that decision was I was going through a lot personally, and I just felt like the best thing for me to do was to go home, somewhere closer to home. So that's basically the biggest factor. And I came back just because I felt like I was leaving family behind. So that's probably the biggest.
What is the value when you're a football player of just being able to be around the team? You hear this sort of idea, you said it yourself, that like your football team is like your family. What is that like on kind of a daily basis, just being able to kind of hang around the guys?
Yeah, it's kind of like family away from family. Just having people out here that I know has my back no matter what. People seem to be genuine, and that's something that I look into when I build relationships with people. And that's another big factor on why I didn't want to leave, because I know a lot of genuine people here.
Last season, you appeared in 6 games. What did you learn from last year during your freshman season?
Well, when I first got here, it was a big change for me. Transitioning from high school, the speed's quicker here, so you got to learn to pick it up, be more aggressive here as well, because you're playing against grown men here. So you just learn to pick it up, get stronger. Alignment, assignment, you have to know everything quicker, pretty much.
Coach Sumlin obviously recruited you here, but so did USC. And a lot of times when USC comes calling to any Arizona kid, I mean, that's sort of a hard thing to resist.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that whole process and why you ultimately made the decision to come here instead?
Well, I'm a homebody, so I'd like to stay here and play here, which was a good decision. Also, USC, they're pretty good, but I'm a homebody, and I know I could be a really good player here.